Morning, dear students. Welcome to today's lesson on pedagogical content knowledge in biology. In this lesson, we are going to learn evaluation, which falls under profile dimension. Evaluation. So these are our objectives for the lesson. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to define evaluation in biology teaching and then explain why it is necessary for the teacher to evaluate his lesson at the end of the teaching. Why is it necessary for the teacher to evaluate his lesson? Now, when we say evaluation, what do we mean by evaluation? So, when you have the ability to appraise, to compare features of different things and make comment or judgment, contrast, critique, justify, you hypothesize, you experiment, test, detect, monitor, review, post, moderate, collaborate, network, discuss, conclude, among others. So these are verbs used in certain questions. These are verbs used in certain questions. When you use these things, you are trying to evaluate. You are trying to evaluate. So I'm trying to say that evaluation is a form of assessment. Okay, evaluation is a form of assessment. Are trying to assess the student to know the strength and then the weakness. So when you use verbs like these ones, it means you are trying to evaluate. So evaluation refers to the ability to judge the worth or value of some material based on some criteria and then standards. And making value judgment of a particular thing or a material. So you are trying to evaluate it. So when you ask questions like compare features of A and B or B and C, you are trying to evaluate or you test. It means you want to evaluate. You experiment, you want to evaluate. You discuss, you want to what? Evaluate. So when you use these verbs in answering questions, it forms part of evaluation. Now, evaluation is a higher level ability, just as application, analysis, and innovation or creativity, since it goes beyond simple knowledge acquisition and understanding. So evaluation goes beyond these things. So after everything, you have to evaluate. After application of knowledge, you have to evaluate. Okay. So this is the last part of profile dimension. Okay. Evaluation is the last part of profile dimension. Now, in evaluation, like I said, it goes alongside with testing, examination. So a number of examination questions at the secondary school level begin with the word discuss. And discuss belongs to the evaluation thinking skills and implies the ability to analyze, compare, contrast, make a judgment, etc. So the word discuss asks for a variety of thinking skills, and it's obviously a higher order thinking behavior. A higher order thinking behavior. So students consequently do poor on examination questions that start with discuss. For this reason, the discussion of issues or discussion of report could be seen when WASI is written. You see the questions that students were asked to discuss. You could see that the chief examiner will state emphatically that students standing in the area of discuss was poor. Okay, students couldn't discuss the questions. So all these things are helping educators or educationists to know the weakness of students in the area of examination. The chief examiner's report is asking students, informing educators and teachers the weakness of students when you ask questions like discuss. So some of the major intellectual activities students will be engaged in, and then at the higher level of learning after they have left secondary school is evaluation. So evaluation, we are trying to evaluate whether you understand a particular concept or not, to know your strength and weakness. That's why after your 3 years in the secondary school, you go and write WASI. So the WASI is a form of evaluation. So we have formative evaluation and summative evaluation. Okay. So we have formative assessment and summative assessment. So all these things, You say the formative assessment are the exams you do in school. The summative assessment are the exams you write at the end of your year in a school or at the end of the program. So you read science, general art, whatever in the secondary school. At the end, we expect that you write the WASI. Okay, that will serve as a summative assessment. Okay, so when we ask questions like discuss this, discuss that, appraise, compare this, justify this, critique this, and you are not able to do it, and then it is telling examiners that students have weaknesses in the area, like say discuss, critique, justify, among others. So teachers should emphasize discussing questions, both in class and then drawing tests. Teachers should do that. So when teachers do that, it's going to help students understand the concept, discuss, critique, justify. So we've learned a lot in this session. Evaluation, the verbs used in evaluation. So I want you students to review this session. In reviewing the session, I want you to answer these questions. Question 1. What is meant by the term evaluation? Question 2. Discuss in your own words why evaluation is necessary in teaching biology. Why is evaluation necessary in teaching biology? So you discuss these questions on any available e-learning platform. It could be Zoom or Google Meet.